projects. But all that changed on June the 8th, 1999, when a computer scientist from Southern California named Jim Galogli announced that he had finally broken through. Galogli was a former president of the American Cryptogram Association and used some bespoke software on his top-of-the-line Intel Pentium 2 home computer to brute force solutions to cryptos in just 4 days. Except Galogli was unable to crack the entire code. He discovered that Sandwood had divided the ciphertext into 4 distinct segments. Galogli managed to solve the first 3, known as K1, K2, and K3, but K4, comprising the final 97 characters, refused to budge. Not only that, but when he called the CIA's Office of Public Affairs, Galogli was informed that the technical analyst by the name of David Stein had beaten him to the punch. Equipped with nothing but pencil and paper and minimal knowledge of cryptology, Stein had spent the better part of a decade tinkering away at cryptos before finally cracking the code in early 1998. Weirdly enough, this was reported as early as November of that year, many months before Galogli made his announcement, yet barely anyone seems to have noticed. Nevertheless, Stein had likewise been stumped by K4 and only managed to solve the first 3 sections. But as it turns out, Stein was not the first to solve it either. In the wake of Galogli's announcement, it came to light that members of the National...
My mom, I already have been eating it, but there's rice, beans, and chicken. And I put a bunch of hot sauce on it. I miss my mom's rice, bro.
Security agency
I was
had secretly
fiending for
solved K1 through K3 all the way back in 1992. Few details were given at the time, but their efforts were later outlined in a series of declassified documents, so let's now take a look at how the NSA partially solved cryptos. Sometime in late 1991, a group of NSA cryptanalyst interns were given a tour of CIA headquarters. They took an immediate interest in cryptos and upon returning to NSA headquarters, formed a small study group to try and crack the code. While the ciphertext is composed of 865 letters, there are also 4 question marks. The assumption made by members of the study group was that the question marks divided the code into 5 segments. But after a few days of trying, this assumption failed to yield results. They wrote of one segment that it seemed to be a completely random system that would be very difficult to break and had no idea how to approach K4. As if placing a curse upon all future code breakers, they wrote, "This part may be unbreakable." About a year later, in early November 1992, the CIA officially challenged the NSA to solve cryptos. The challenge was accepted by 4 veteran cryptanalysts who began making headway almost immediately. Unlike the previous group, they ignored the question marks and instead turned their attention to something known as frequency analysis. It works like this. Every language uses certain letters more frequently than others. In English, the most frequent letter is E, while letters like X, Q, and Z are among the least common. So if we count